One, two, one, two, one, two, three, four. Hey! Hey, everybody!
Good afternoon. It is Tuesday, May the 19th. I am Bruce Leonard, of course. Thank you for tuning in to another hour of Bruce Leonard Leans Left, while it's still legal. The polls are about to close here in Kentucky. I believe they close at 6 p.m. So as we come on the air right now, they will be counting the votes to see if Thomas Massey will survive this onslaught. Apparently, if you live here, as I do, we have been bombarded every 5 fucking seconds with an ad. For the last, what's up, Ken? For the last several days, every other ad is an ad, either Trump attacking Massey or Massey. It's very weird how Massey has played this because he's selling in the fact that, well, he has voted with Trump 98% of the time, you know. It tells you, like, even though Trump is attacking this dude and kicking him in the balls constantly, they still feel the need to at least pretend to grovel, which is unbelievable. What's up, Laura? Blue Apollo, I'm not sure. The polls just closed at 6 o'clock. So we're going to keep an eye on it while we're here. My phone is set up. As soon as anything happens, I'll get an update immediately. As like I said, my phone is set up as basically a news feed. I get breaking news about anything that happens almost as soon as it happens. And although I noticed that Apple News has been slow lately. They used to be right on top of shit. But I've noticed things happen on TV and takes a little while for it to come on the phone. You know, like like the shooting yesterday. I guess we should talk about that. Yeah, well, I live across the river. Yeah, right on the Ohio River, on the bank of the Cincinnati in Newport. Yes, Blue Apollo, I support Massey. Although I've been over this on this show a bunch of times. I don't really agree with anything he fucking says, and he says a lot of dumb shit. And he votes for a lot of dumb shit. Like, for instance, he's for this fucking SAVE Act, which is ridiculous bullshit. But I admire the man because he has principle. And he sticks by his principle, and that is rare in this world. A man of real principle who's willing to like today, he might sacrifice himself for that principle. But if it wasn't for him, those Epstein files would never got released. That's what this is all about. What do you think this is about? Why would Trump want to get rid of Thomas Massey, who does vote with him 98% of the time? He didn't vote for the big, beautiful bill because he doesn't like fucking deficits. He's always been a deficit hawk. That's one of the reasons. He was an original Tea Party member. That's how he got into Congress. Yes, Blue Apollo. He's a man of integrity. And like I said, that is rare. And so I don't agree with him on a lot of stuff, but I admire him. And so, and in this part of Kentucky, no Democrat is ever going to win, you know. That's the thing, is that's why this nutlicker can't win today, because he's just going to get rubber stamped just like J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance was from here. He left here. He never spent any time here. He never fucking cared about this place. And then he just came back with the Peter Thiel money and Donald Trump's endorsement and just swept his way into the Senate. Because for MAGA, all you have to do is have Donald Trump's endorsement. Now, this is where it's tricky today, because it's a Republican primary and Trump has owned the primaries, and that's one of the reasons why Republicans won't stand up to him. But Massey's been through this before, except this time this is the most expensive primary election in the history of this country. They spent about $300 million, I believe, on this race. And this isn't even a general election. AIPAC swept in this weekend with another 3 million to buy ads. That's why I said we've been watching TV ads every 5 seconds. Therefore, Massey has to spend money too, because he can't just let them, So it's been kind of funny because they've been back to back. So Massey is smart. Like, if they run an ad, he buys the spot right after. So their ad plays and then his ad plays. Which I didn't notice that on the other side. I have seen some Massey ads where there wasn't a Gowron ad afterward. But every Gowron ad I've seen immediately after is a Thomas Massey. It's like a rebuttal. So he is very smart in the way he's done it. Yes, Blue Apollo says AIPAC dumped like 32 million in the last day or two against him. Yes, exactly. Which shows you too that this is about Israel as well, because Massey's against that too. Massey's against wars, he's against deficits, and he was for the release of the Epstein files. After that, you can't really find anything I fucking agree with him on. It's like, but like I said, he sticks to his principles, and that's rare in this world now, especially now. Because I don't know if you see what happened. I mean, we'll get into that in a minute. But this $1.76 billion. I'm sorry, I said million. $1.76 billion slush fund to pay people who have been wrongly abused by the government, the Justice Department, which means the January 6ers. He's going to give them all $1 million. Watch. And that's the reward they're going to get for trying to throw the government for Donald Trump. But with your money, by the way, your money. If they say that, they couldn't afford the SNAP, they can't afford health care, they can't afford all this other shit, but they got $1 billion for a bar room, they got $1.76 billion to give to Donald Trump's friends, they got $1 billion a day to bomb the fuck out or whatever they're doing in Iran. I mean, I don't know what you call it now. It was a war, but now it's like a hiatus. I don't know what you call it. Blue Apollo says they want the headlines to be that he's against Trump, but it's so much deeper. I'm excited to see what comes of it. What is this called? Is that like a bill or something? What? What do you mean? Laura says the amount of money they're spending on this when we have hungry children, millions of people with no health care, and elderly people living in poverty makes me sick to my stomach. Yes. Yes, this is a soulless society. Today when I was driving home from work, I saw this older lady sitting on the side of the road. Well, Laura, it's not really legal, but anything that they've done has not really been legal, and no one stopped them. This is the point. As long as he has the Republican nut-licking majority of the Congress who's not going to do anything at all, he's going to be able to get away with whatever he wants. Period. No one's going to stop him. I'll tell you the whole story from the beginning. Donald Trump, if you don't remember, there was an IRS data breach. Just look up Blue Apollo. Just look up Trump IRS settlement. That'll tell you. Anyway, there was a data breach. In 2020, today Todd Blanchard was in front of the Congress, and this is one of the questions. The guy said, how many taxpayers' returns were leaked by the IRS in the 2020 breach? And Reed said 405,427. One of them was Donald Trump's, correct? Blanche, Donald Trump and his family. Reed, and Donald Trump was president at the time. So it was his IRS that allowed this breach of privacy, right? So his IRS allowed a breach of privacy, which released a lot of tax returns, right? So Trump sues the IRS for $10 billion right? This is the pretense to get this thing. So he sues the government that he was running when there was a breach for a breach of privacy or whatever, and then says, well, I'll settle this case for if you set up a fund for $1.76 billion. So it's 1776, which is no fucking coincidence. It's a patriot fund for his patriots, his army, the people. Yes, Blue Apollo. He breached his own privacy and then sued the IRS that he ran at the time for $10 billion, and then says, I will settle for $1.7 billion if you make this fund that we could give away money to people who have been wrongly persecuted by the weaponization of the Justice Department. Right? But not only that. Then the other part of the agreement was this one-page document signed by Todd Blanche. It says, the settlement agreement in Trump versus the Internal Revenue Service has created the Anti-Weaponization Fund, the fund. The settlement agreement directed the Attorney General to issue an order establishing funding and any other relevant requirements for the fund. Capitalized terms in this document shall have the same meaning as in the settlement agreement. The United States releases, waives, acquits, and forever discharges each of the plaintiffs from and is hereby forever barred and precluded from prosecuting or pursuing any and all claims, counterclaims, causes of action, appeals, or requests for any relief, including injunctive relief, monetary relief, damages, examinations, or similar or related reviews, appeals, debt relief, costs, attorney's fees, expenses, and or interests, whether presently known or unknown, that, as of the effective date of the settlement agreement, have been or could have been asserted by the defendants against any of the plaintiffs or related or affiliated individuals, including, without limitation, family or others filing jointly, or parties including trusts, parent, sister, or related companies, affiliates, and subsidiaries, by reason of, with respect to, and in connection with, or which arise out of, any matters that were raised or could have been raised in the case or the pending agency claims, lawfare and or weaponization, or any matters currently pending or that could be pending, including tax returns filed before the effective date, before defendants or other agencies or departments, which means they can no longer audit his taxes, investigate his finances, him, his family, all of his companies, all of his trusts. It's basically a blanket immunity agreement for all the money that he's stealing, all the taxes he's not paying. He still has never released his taxes. Remember, he said he couldn't release his taxes because there was an audit pending or whatever. Well, he just got free and clear from ever being audited ever again, which means tomorrow you should see Donald Trump's taxes in public, right? Right? If you go by what he says. What's up, Brian? Brian Z. And gosh darn it, hi from Mekon Tazichi. I'm okay, man. How about yourself? We're just talking about all this ridiculous shit. Like I said, America is off the rail. We got a criminal president, and his personal attorney is the attorney general. I've been okay, thank you. Blue Paw says, where did the January Sixers come into this? Is he going to use this money to support them? Yes. Didn't you hear what I just said? It's a weaponization fund. Now they can apply for relief for weaponization of the Justice Department against them and get a payout from this $1.76 billion slush fund. And it is a slush fund because Todd Blanche called it that himself today. Now, here's the other part that's very mysterious, okay? There was one January 6er who was pardoned, correctly? Right? Pardoned. But then he got caught molesting little kids, right? Well, at his trial, the little kids said that he told them that if they kept their mouth shut, he'd cut them in on the money that he was going to get from Donald Trump. So these people knew that this was coming. Someone told them. This is in court records. I'm not making this up. He's serving a life sentence for molesting children. But in the court record of his trial, he told them little boys if they would be quiet, that he would cut them in on the Trump money that he was going to get. So they knew that this was happening. Blue Paul says, I think anyone falsely accused that served time should be reimbursed, but people who went in literally following the feds into a completely legal trap. What are you talking about? There's no trap. Trump told them to go to the Capitol, and they did. And nobody was wrongly convicted. Everybody got a trial. They either pled guilty or they were convicted by a jury. They had these people on videotape. We all saw it happen. Right? January 6th happened. It's on video. We watched it happen on TV. And now they're going to pay these people money after getting pardons. And what does that do? It just encourages people to go, hey, if I commit violence for Donald Trump, I'm going to get a pardon and get some money. This is the Patriots. Jay says, what am I talking about? Talking about what's going on, bro. You would think that you were making this up. It's so fucking ridiculously wild. And you would think that people who can't afford to fill up their fucking gas in their car now or buy food for themselves or feed their fucking families might set some shit on fire if shit like this was going on. But yet, no, people are still sitting around like everything's okay. Because the truth is, the myth of the American freedom-loving, tough guy is fucking bullshit. If this was France, this country would already have simultaneously combusted. People have been in the streets with masks on and throwing Molotov cocktails and doing all kinds of crazy shit because they wouldn't take this. Stuart. Are you really going to sit here and defend this? You really think it's okay for Donald Trump to steal $1.776 billion and give it away to these fucking people who shit on the walls of the Capitol? You can call it whatever you want. You saw it. You know what it is. They were trying to stop the fucking vote count and the certification of the election. That was the given, stated purpose of the whole fucking thing. He says, there are feds who are saying going and whatnot. I mean, trap as in that they were stupid to see they were walking themselves. What are you talking about? I know. Julia says, for fuck's sake, there was a group of people wearing black t-shirts that said in big bold letters, January 6th, Civil War 2.0, gathered outside the Capitol on January 6th. Exactly. Why you say that, Jimmy? You want to defend this? Please tell me why it's good that Donald Trump is doing this. Why he has $1 billion for a ballroom and $15 million for the reflecting pool, and however much it cost him to turn on that fountain he turned on the other day, and the fucking triumphal arch he wants to build, and the Kennedy Center fucking remodel that's going to cost millions and millions of dollars, and the fucking stupid war that's going on while you got to pay $5 a gallon for fucking gas, and why you can't afford food and your mom don't have health care. Please explain it to me, Jimmy. Why this is good for us. Why this is America first. But you won't. You just sit there and put your. That ain't my politics, bro. We're just talking about the fucking what's going on. And if you, like I said, if you could justify all that, I'd like to hear it. You can tell me how that's good for everybody here. And I forgot to finish the story I was telling is, well, then what are you? I didn't say you were either. I didn't call you anything. I just asked you a question. We're just discussing what's happening. America First was mentioned. Yes, exactly. You don't have to be MAGA to be America First or whatever. I say it all the time when I'm sitting here. It's like, we lost this war in Iran. What's already lost? I don't say that with pride. I don't say that like with happiness. Like, it's a fucking embarrassment. This is our country. These people represent us. Why is the war going on? Where was Pete Hegseth? He was here yesterday. Can you believe that? He found the time to come down here and stump for Ed Galbraith, which is totally against the law. Right? Political appointees aren't supposed to participate in partisan politics, but we're way past the law. They always have all questions, no answers, Ken, or childlike insults. That's all they do. None of these people really know anything. Like, you should see, I joined this group called Northern Kentucky just to watch it because of they were talking about the Massey election. I'm just watching. And there are literally people that just regurgitate what's in those ads. Like, they don't know what they're talking about. They just do what they're told. We're in big trouble. There's millions of these people. And see, I've been saying this for a long time. There's only two ways out of this situation, right? Either everyone who doesn't vote or has ever convinced themselves that voting is ridiculous or it doesn't fucking affect them, everyone got to vote. Or we're going to wind up in a fight. Or my solution, which is the third option, which will never happen, but I believe that we should just do peaceful secession. We should cut this country in half and let them have their white supremacist fucking homeland or whatever the fuck it is they want. Yes, Blue Apollo, they're also not even real. All these anti-Massey ads, they're not even, they're like, oh, he votes with AOC and Iliad, all the triggers. He's with the squad, and he's for the mutilization of women, of little children, the transgender, and you're like, stuff that never happens. I don't know where this mutilization of children thing ever came from. There are no fucking children getting this. You don't get a sex change operation until after you fucking go through puberty and shit. You don't change a kid's sex when he's 10 years old. That's ridiculous. No one does that, even if they're trans. It's not true. That's the problem with these people, is their whole entire life is a construct of fantasy that's not even connected to, tethered to reality in any way. It's what they want to be true. Like I said, I went through the statistics. There was 100, or what did I say? There was 500,000 or something NCAA athletes, 10 trans. 10. They act like, oh, it's an epidemic. They're coming after your kids, your daughter's rights. It's like, no, it's not an epidemic. It's like 10 of them, literally. It's just like immigrant murders. Like, when an immigrant murders somebody, they jump on it, right? They blow it up into a big thing. Oh, it's an immigrant murder. You're not safe to walk the streets. And then they beat that one for a year or two because they got to wait that long before another one happens. That's like, because this shit's not happening every day. Matter of fact, we've been over this a million times on this show. The immigrants commit crimes at lower levels than people that are born here. You're more likely to be killed by somebody that lives over in Cincinnati than some illegal immigrant. Meanwhile, you got people, like I said, the same thing with the Muslims and Muslim hate, the Randy Fine and the people that scream all day about the Muslims and the anti-Sharia law caucus is in the Congress, and this is what causes people to do the things that they did yesterday when those two kids went and shot up that school. I didn't say that, John Baptist. I'm not cool with anybody committing crime. What I said is they blow it out of proportion. What the right does is they take something that happens, right? And then they pretend like this is happening everywhere all the time, and it's not true. It's just not. And they've created this bubble and this stream of misinformation that has to get more and more extreme at all times. Because they just keep ratcheting it up because that's all they have. They don't have any real fucking ideas. Klaus in Matrix says, I'm half Native American and half Russian by ancestry. I told them what I did on the application and they still wouldn't let me give up my citizenship. What kind of crap is that? He said, I would so join the Russian military if they ever invaded the United States. I don't want American citizenship, yet the United States government forced me to keep it. They wouldn't allow me to renounce. Really? That's true? Laura says Eddie is leading the poll by a lot, so Massey's going to go down probably. No. So wait. So you live here? No, You live here, and you tried to renounce your citizenship, and they wouldn't let you. Clausen says when the government forces people to keep a citizenship they do not want, something is not right about that. Well, I mean, where were you? Did you say, like, you want to renounce your citizenship, but you want to stay here? I mean, or did you? I mean, why don't you just, like, go to Russia and then renounce your citizenship while you're over there? See what happens. I mean, I believe they'll let you do it. As long as Russia will accept you. And you're half Russian, you say, so maybe you could. But I don't know. I can't speak on the situation, and I say this a bunch of times. I don't speak about things I don't know, and I don't know enough about it to say that I know. But I'm saying, okay. So Clausen says I left the United States, went to the United States Embassy, actually paid an attorney to try to renounce my United States citizenship. They forced me to be deported back to the U.S. The United States actually paid the other country to send me back to the United States, and they forced me. Really? He said they wouldn't allow me to renounce it because I'm half Native American. What is up with that? Right? Really? Because that's fucked, even more fucked up because it's not like they count Native Americans, it's not like second-class citizens here. Klaus says, I clearly told them at the embassy I would join the Russian military if they ever invaded the United States. I really meant it. Well, you're probably on a list. I'm sure they'd be keeping an eye on you. Let's see if there's any. No results yet in the Massey race. No, that does suck, but I've never, like I said, I've never heard of that. It seemed like there was a weird story about Lee Harvey Oswald did the same kind of thing, right? Way back in the 60s, before obviously he got caught up in the old Kennedy assassination thing. But it's extremely true, but they would not allow me because I'm half Native American. Yeah, but did they say why that was the reason? Or would the other country not accept you because of that? See, I don't know that much about it. Like I said, I wish that I did it. I'll look into it now, but Julie says, how fucking strange. I'm half Native American and half Russian Jew. Why would the fuck would you want to fight on the Russian side? Again, it's like picking between, you want ass cancer or ball cancer. It's like neither one are very good. It's like, that's the problem. Jimmy says, I asked if you had tribal cards. The only way they would know is by your tribal number. Clausen says, okay. But where did you go? What country did you go to? I guess that matters too in the story. Clausen says, no, the United States would not allow me to renounce my citizenship. Wow, I find that odd. Because Trump and them always say, like Rosie O'Donnell and them, like, go! They act like they would let her renounce her citizenship in a second. Jimmy says it's a big plan to have fun. Yeah, exactly. Like, you don't have to do that to leave. You can go anywhere. It says they would not allow me to give up my United States citizenship because I'm registered as a Native American with a tribe. Right. Well, how about this? Could you go to your tribe and get permission from them to renounce your tribal citizenship as well? I mean, if that's something you wanted to do, I don't know why you'd want to do that. Blue Apollo says, that reminds me, I found out my great-grandma on my mother's side is Jewish. Therefore, I'm part Jewish. I'll take weather applications starting tomorrow. No, but if you lived in Germany, Blue Apollo, back in the 30s or whatever, you would have been Jewish. Even though you never was raised a Jew and you never practiced Judaism or you never did anything like that. But when they passed those Nuremberg laws, they had the blood race laws, you would have been Jew and they would have shipped you off to a concentration camp. Even though you'd be like, I never even fucking touched the menorah. I eat bacon all the time. I'm just dragging you off. It's like, I'm totally not kosher. John says, Klaus and I would leave the U.S. if I could. Financially, it's not feasible, but I wouldn't even give a shit if I had the opportunity. I'd be gone. Clausen says, Native American reservations are supposed to be sovereign in every sense of the word, and because of that, yes, the State Department refused to allow me to renounce my United States citizenship. Yeah, see, you're caught in a weird bureaucratic, like I said, black hole, loophole. Inmate says, I fed my dog apples and he drank Red Bull and his cat grew wings at Donald Trump's wig and the Tesla. Then my friend Elon Musk got AIDS, HIV, STD, COVID, Ebola. He had a daughter named Iola. Blue Apollo says, yes, but they had a chart. If it was under a certain percentage, you were cleared. Yes, but I think that your grandma, that's too close. I know about it too. I've spent a lot of years studying it. You know why? I mean, this is what's so weird about my life is for a lot of my life, I've studied the Nazis in Germany because I never could understand psychologically, like, how does a country that's advanced like that has educated people, how does this happen, you know? And then you're like, oh, it's fucking happening here. Like, I see how it happened now because I'm living in it. Clausen said, I would stay in the United States if it was under tribal jurisdiction from East Coast to West Coast, but this white English bastards started the United States want nothing to do with that. The only United States I recognize is if it's ever governed from East Coast to West Coast under tribal law. This European settlement United States could stick it. Many Native Americans feel the way I do. Our land was stolen. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. And yesterday, if you saw, they had that prayer rally on the mall or whatever, and Mike Johnson and all these Christian fucks were out there speaking, and they're like acting like, oh, and then people want to say now that Americans, you know, we just have to be judged by our sins and whatever. We reject that. It's like, well, you're not real about the Christians, you know, like you can't get past the sin till you repent, and they haven't repented not one fucking time. I don't blame you for feeling that way, Clausen. I really don't. But Russia isn't like better. Russia is a colonizer too. That's what's going on in Ukraine. Like Russia wants Putin wants all the colonies back that they used to have. The Soviet satellite countries. But see, same thing. He's living in the past. You know, it's a fantasy. It's not going to happen. You know, that shit is over. They are not. Jimmy says, I wouldn't even take a piss in Russia. Well, there are parts of it I would like to see, just like for the history of it. I mean, those big buildings and shit. They're pretty. The architecture and stuff. I mean, there is something that's to be said for that. But Blue Apollo says, I mean, it was stolen to the extent that the natives were able to defend their land. It is stealing. What are you talking about? The Europeans came. They took everything. They did South America, Central America, North America. Russia also has dark-skinned native people in Siberia. They treat them like animals. Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. All the indigenous people got fucked. You know, the ones in Alaska too. Klaus and Matrix says, I tried to leave a few months ago. When I stopped at the border, they literally turned me back at the airport, would not allow me to board the flight. Why? Because now you're on a no-fly list because you tried to renounce your citizenship. It sounds to me like I said you're caught in some weird bureaucratic loophole because of your tribal status. And if you paid an attorney, he didn't have anything to say about this. Like I said, it seems like an attorney would know more about it than me. I don't know that much about it. Yeah, but he didn't try to renounce his citizenship. Plus, now Trump looks at your social media and shit. So if you posted a lot of, like me, if I tried to leave the country, I don't know if they, or they probably say, yes, get the fuck out, and they'd never let me back. Like, this guy's trouble. Of course, Clausen. He says the Jews in Israel today are not the original Israelites. DNA testing has proven that they're European. Yes, exactly. Jimmy says, I'm from Oklahoma. I have natives in my family. Sure. Sure, that's true. Those people are probably more Arabic. That's what I always say. It's like, that lily white Jesus, that's a bullshit. Jesus wasn't white. No one born in the Middle East white. That's like, the Europeans changed all that. That's what I think is funny. Is like, that's the thing is, if you talk about it, people, they do this all the time. They say, oh, it's a white guilt. It's like, no, I don't feel guilt. But it's not guilt to acknowledge what happened. And these people are assholes. The Europeans created a transatlantic slave trade to capture and enslave other human beings and do labor for them as a business for hundreds of years. We can't talk about that? We got to just pretend like it didn't fucking happen? Are you kidding me? Yeah, but Jimmy, the Bureau of Indian Affairs, that's fucked up too. Danielle was just talking about that the other day, about the forced sterilization of Native American women. All kinds of stuff that was going on. This went on all the way up until like the 1970s. That's what I mean is these are this whole country is built on a pile of bullshit. Jimmy says the only time I heard of anything like that was my mother talking about back in the 70s making an Indian movement. Yeah, exactly. Didn't they lock up Peltier for fucking 30 years? But there's lists and stacks of treaties that we made with the Indians that we just fucking shit on. Blue Apollo says, yeah, Jesus was a Semite. Yeah. They weren't fucking, like I said, yeah, but that's the point, Blue Apollo, though, is the Middle East at that time, there were no white people. They were Arabs, most likely. And the other, the Egyptians. They weren't white people. Jesus wasn't white with the brown hair and the beard. All them pictures you see of Mary wasn't that lily white, if these people were real. Jimmy says any family went to Oklahoma in the 1800s has Native Americans in their family somewhere, right? Because people were fucking. Klaus says, I have a skin disorder that I inherited from my father called albinism. Right. Not to be confused with albinos. It makes your offspring look Caucasian when they're actually native. Right? What's up, Vish? Thank you. Klaus says, I'm half Russian. It's my ancestry, so you can read between the lines on that to understand. Right? See, again, I'm not. I've never been caught up in that. I never learned my ancestry. I don't think it matters. Like I said, to me, that's one of the things that holds people back. You know, I mean, the human race in general is all this fixation on shit like that. It's like, we're fucking. Okay, Klaus, so where did the Russian come from? Blue Apollo says, imaging Jesus blind with blue eyes and a golden beard is hilarious. No, that's what I'm saying. Jesus was not a white person. Klaus says, it's over for you because your people never had to go through it. I need telling us to forget about it. It's just your way of not having to accept responsibility. I agree 100% with you. Don't you understand that? That's what I'm saying. Is they don't want to face their sins and actually repent. What they want to do is pretend like what they don't want to do is say what they really believe, which is that it's God's divine right for the white people to rule over you and everybody else. And that's what they believe. That's really what they believe, you know. But they don't want to say that out loud. Because I say, and if you confront them with it, they run away real fast. Klaus says, my mother's side are native, and the native tribe I belong to here also exists in Russia. They originally come from Russia, and my father's full-blooded Russian, so yes, I would go back to Russia. Our tribe exists here in Alaska. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. Well, okay, no, you didn't say you were in Alaska. I thought maybe you were out west, like, you know, Arizona or where I used to live, out in Nevada. There's tribes there. They run the Grand Canyon. But you go there and it's sad. It's sad. I said, I mean, it's beautiful, but it's sad because if you really think about, you know, the real situation, it's a tragedy all the way around. Blue Blood says, yes, but it does matter to people that they're decent. If it didn't matter, there would be complete equality. Some are just curious, want to embrace their background. I don't mean that, Blue Apollo. There's nothing wrong with being proud of who you are or being curious about it. But I'm saying when you start picking sides and saying this and that and the other, you know, it's like that's what keeps people from coming together. So I never looked. I know that I'm Irish on my mom's side because their name was Sullivan, you know. and my grandpa drank a lot of whiskey. Straight up Irish. You know, it's like, but my dad, we don't really know who his dad is. So there's a hole there. And it's like, you know what? I never really cared. I just don't care. It's like, it doesn't really matter to me. It's like, you ever seen that commercial? There's a commercial for like Ancestry.com, right? And the guy's like wearing a lederhosen, right? And he's like, hey, I wear this lederhosen because I'm a German and this and that and the other. And like for years and years, he wore this lederhosen, right? Then he's like, then I went on Ancestry.com and I found out I'm really Scottish. And then he's like, so now I turned in my lederhosen for a kilt. And you're like, yeah, but what does that have to do with your life right now? Nothing. It's like, when you chase some identity, like your identity should be who you are as a person. What you're into. Are you an artist or, you know, what you anything you do. You know, it's like, that's your identity. Who you are. It's not like who my fucking great grandpappy. My great grandpappy could have been one of them assholes that owned slaves. That don't mean that I fucking agree. Klaus, it says, my native ancestry still exists in Russia, which used to be the Soviet Union. Right. When they sold Alaska, United States, half the tribal population ended up going with it. Right? Laura says, I think it's just fun to know because I'm a history buff. Yeah, well, me too. I'm a history buff as well. But I'm saying it's not tied into my John says Davey said he met their dad once. Yeah, but he said it took a long time to track that fucker down, I'm sure. I'm a history buff too, Laura, but I'm just saying it's like it doesn't have anything to do with who I am right now. And that guy who changed his lederhosen for a kilt, it's like, come on, man. It's like, you've been, for 20 years, you've been stomping around, you're just fucking eating sauerkraut and wearing a thing, and being all proud to be a German, and find out you're not even fucking German. You've been living a lie. It's like, oh no, I'm Scottish. Woo. It's like, get me a whiskey, put away the schnapps. Exactly. Clausen, you are correct. That's why I always think it's funny when Americans act like that this country is so fucking righteous and great. It's not. But see, they want to sell you that image. Clausen says what the Nazis did to the Jews, the Americans did to the natives, except same thing. They're two-faced hypocrites. Exactly. I agree 100%. You're not telling me, you're not going to find me arguing with you at all. Blue Apollo says, yeah, but when white people, Europeans, try to be proud of themselves, it gets shot down every time. World War II, the natives in the Middle East sucks. Can't be allowed to embrace Rome without endorsing all the bad stuff. Yeah, well, Rome wasn't that great either, bro. They're going around nailing people up a piece of wood. Got slaves. You know, no one had more slaves than Rome. And that's what I mean. Is like it was part of the white fucking society that everybody says is great. Oh, the Western civilization. Like, yeah, it did have all the good stuff, philosophy and science and all that other shit. But it also had slavery and fucking raping and pillaging and fucking, like I said, the Romans were the kings of invaders. Took other invaders to beat them back. John says the Nazis at least tried to hide. The U.S. celebrated that fucking shit. Yeah, they called them savages, you know. They said, oh, these savages, you know, that what they would do is provoke them until they would fight back. And then they go, oh, look, they killed white people. They're savages. It's like, yeah, well, you just killed thousands of them before. They're just trying to defend themselves. But see, it's this big spin. That's what I mean. All of America is a bullshit spin, bullshit story. They don't want to talk about the real shit. That's what this is all about. What do you think all this redistricting is about? Right? If you get all the way down to the bottom of it. It's because that black man was elected president and they want to make sure that never fucking happens again. So they're diluting the maps and making it so that the minorities won't have the power to elect their own people. Jimmy says at this point, if Trump said white and blacks will use separate bathrooms, Americans would scream Nazi Germany to hide their own history. Yeah, exactly. Even though you can show pictures of when it was like that. That's what this is all about. Don't you get that? Like I've been saying this for a while. Like this is the Confederacy. We did not beat them down enough or punish them enough after, and we let them back into the system too quick. And they've penetrated the system over several generations. They have reestablished their fucking power. And now they're going to draw all the black people out of existence in their states. If you look at these maps, why I say they're doing redistricting, it's the Confederacy. That's why I say I don't think that we can live with these people. I think that we should just have a peaceful secession. We should just cut this country in two and everybody could choose which side they want to live in. And they wouldn't last that long anyway. Because I don't know if you've seen this, but they're not too smart. It's like they're like smart enough to weasel their way into the power, but once they get the power, they're not smart enough to know what to do with it. And they're all crooked and grifters. They're just robbing and stealing all the time. Here's another thing. You ever the conservatives are always like, they used to always say, we're fiscal conservatives. With all this big government spending, we don't agree with it. Like they want to, that's just a code word for, they want to cut. Hey, what's up, Ahmed? They want to cut all your social programs. They don't like money that helps other people because they want to keep all the money. Because you ever notice this? They say they're fiscal conservatives, but every time a Republican becomes the president, they blow the fucking deficit off the fucking chart. Yes, Jimmy. That's why you get the dumb fucks about Democrats started the Klan. It's like, yeah, 200 years ago. It's like Democrats became progressives, in the 40s and 50s, and then, like I said, the Dixiecrats got mad about that. Because we're getting too liberal for them, so then they went to the Republican Party. Blue Apollo says, Jimmy, we literally fought against Germany. We won World War II. What are you doing? Leon says, fuck us up. See, why do you say that? Especially after yesterday. Come on, man. Really? Like that's what I'm saying is there's way too much division, man. There's way too much hate. It's like, do you know any Islamic people? I've known quite a few. They're all been pretty cool. I've never met many assholes. I've met lots of assholes of all different kinds. Plenty of dickhead Christians, I said, but that doesn't mean they're all bad. The same as Islam. You know what you don't do? Is you don't disprove their theory when they call you the Great Satan, when you bomb a fucking school full of children. They go, look, they are the Great Satan. And people go, damn, they are. You just convinced the people that they were right about you all along. Now Trump's running this place. We are the Great Satan, don't you think? We had an Antichrist president. I don't know if you see these people building golden statues of Trump and shit, kneeling in front of it. They're like, oh, yesterday they were out there. Hey, Trump is chosen by God to. It's like they read their book, but they don't understand it. Blue Apollo says, no, I don't understand what that means, Blue Apollo. No wonder you associate America with Nazi Germany. Blue Apollo, he was just making a comparison that the way that they tried to exterminate Jews is just the same way that the white Europeans tried to exterminate the Native Americans, which is true. It's 100% true. And again, it's like I've said before. You can't kill everyone. You can't kill them all. It's been tried. Has there ever been a genocide that actually worked, that actually killed all of the people that they were trying to get rid of? I don't believe so. Because you can't. You know how many people that the fucking Germans killed trying to wipe the Jewish race off the earth? Lots of people. Lots of them. Millions and millions and millions. And did they get rid of them? No. It's a fool's errand. Blue Apollo says, I can see why people would think that from an outsider's point of view, but we fought against that whole idea. No, that was after. That was after. And even after that, Jimmy, do you know the history of Central America? The way that we funded those governments are basically death squads to fucking prop up United Fruit. So, but that's what I'm saying. Is it's all bullshit. And the American government has always been into some heinous shit. And that's why, like I said, no one wants to talk about the real story of Iran. Why did Iran hate us? Because we fucking overthrew their government. We installed a puppet, the Shah, and that's what caused the Islamist revolution to begin with. Nobody wants to talk about that. They would go, "Oh, Iran just like started existing in 1979." Like, no, this problem was 20 years before that. Yes, John. John said the monkeys found the switch, but now the machine is on fire. Yeah, exactly. And nobody knows how to put it out. The Congress could help, but they're all nut lickers. They're not going to do anything. So I don't know. That's why I said before, is like the only way out of this is to vote all these motherfuckers out of office. And like it's like that makes it sound like, oh, you're a Democrat. It's like, well, I'm not really a Democrat, but like, who else is there? Unless we do like I said the other day, is start another party. I told you I want to start a party. They're called the Progressive Humanists of America. I got a platform and everything. I've been thinking about it for a while, but I don't know how to go about like starting a fucking party. But like I said, these people, Democrats, are just like corporate light. They have the same fucking donors, the same, I told you that before. Like I saw the book. The guys gave the money to both people. It's like, thank you for your generous contribution, George W. Bush. And then flip the page. Thank you for your generous contribution, Bill Clinton. It's like you just get, the rich people just give the money to both candidates, and whoever wins, they go, hey, remember I gave you that money? They still own them. Until the people start their own party, it's just like back in the day. Blue Apollo says Nick Fuentes had an in-depth show he did on the history of the Middle East and Western civilization. So amazing hearing the stories that happen. Blue Apollo should listen to Daniele's podcast, History on Fire. He says Rocky 2 is literally about the indomitable Middle Eastern spirit. You believe that? I can't believe you believe that. How is that? What does that have to do with anything? Rocky 3 was fucking the one with Mr. T. I think you mean you're talking about the one with Drago. That was Rocky 4. Rocky 3 was Clubber Lang. Mr. T. And that had nothing to do with the Middle Eastern spirit. I think Nick Fuentes might be full of shit. If you want to hear some stories, I said listen to History on Fire, Daniele's podcast. He's got lots of stories about from those time periods. Lots of Roman shit, lots of Middle Eastern. Blue Power says no, but that's what it was supposed to be. Like I said, Rocky 1 was Rocky versus Apollo. Rocky 2 was Rocky versus Apollo rematch. Rocky 3 was Clubber Lang. Rocky 4 was Drago the Russian. Oh, he's my Rambo. First blood. All right. Yeah, if you think about it, bro. Right? Now you say that about the Vietnamese too. Or the Koreans. Like I said, we haven't won a war since World War II. I don't know if you keep track. That's why I think it's hilarious that Trump thought he could just drop a couple bombs and it'd be over. He didn't learn anything from anything that's happened in his entire life. Because he's a dumb fuck rich person that just lives in a bubble. It's like now, he can't imagine what your life is like now. You can't afford gas and you go to the grocery store. He's never been to a grocery store. His entire life. And people think that this guy gives a shit about them. It's fucking hilarious. It's like, and now they're letting him just steal all this money. Like I said, people are still like, America first. And turn on Fox News. It's like, oh, he's great. Because like I said, the right wing is full of shit. All the right wing cares about is power over you. And the ability to put their fucking, like our Native American friend up there. Like I said, they couldn't wait to convert them. You know, they want to put their, just like these guys now, they want everybody to be Christians. If you're not Christians, then you're no good. But in the meantime, they talk about freedom and shit. They're just full of shit. It's unbelievable. And then Nick Fuentes, I don't even know what to say about that. Scan Captain says Rambo just wanted a cheeseburger. Right? The first Rambo, it's good until the end when he tries to really act. When he's in the diner or whatever, and this guy comes and he starts talking about Vietnam. He's like, "Hey, the guy comes over the shine, please." And then they give us like, "Can't find your legs, can't find your legs." And you're like, dude, he's a terrible actor. I can't find your leg, man. Blue says I am. We aren't doing so hot. He doesn't pay attention at all. Literally, all his generals sit around with clothes straight, and he gave it a full set. Trump probably only reads his own books. He don't even read that. He reads garbage on the internet and believes it to be true, and looks for images of himself. It's like big tough guys or Jesus. I mean, it's, and I keep wondering. I said, how bad does it have to get before people go, hey man? But see, if this guy Rod wins tonight, it just tells you we're in big trouble. These people will follow him right over a cliff, and he'll take them there. I don't know if you know anything about cults, but it never ends good. It never ends well. It's like, because their ego just grows and 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 grows. Blue Apollo is like Rambo impression from Bruce was not on today's checklist. I can surprise you sometimes. Yes, it was bad. It's bad acting. It's like, and the terrible was the guy that plays his captain or whatever, Richard Crenna. He's a great actor. He's been around forever. And like the very fact that he had to stand there while he yes, Blue Apollo. Well, no, you ever seen The Deer Hunter? Deer Hunter's pretty good too. We're gonna talk about like Vietnam War movies and acting. Julie says there's really only one role I actually enjoyed at Stallone's, and that's Demolition Man. Well, you never saw Over the Top or whatever when he was an arm wrestler? It's one of the worst movies ever made. Or Cobra, was it Cobra? Where I can't remember what he was. He's like a detective or like a bounty hunter guy. Pretty bad. And his Judge Dredd was fucking terrible. No, I went to Blue Apollo about Apocalypse Now. It's great. But like I said, don't discount The Deer Hunter. And if you've never seen The Deer Hunter, you should watch it. Really, 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 really good acting. It's got Robert De Niro and John Voight and John Savage. And there's a bunch of really good actors. But there's this whole part about half the movie is when they come home and what happens to them when they get home. But there's a whole bunch of scenes where Christopher Walken is also in it. I forgot about that. Christopher Walken doesn't make it back, and then they go back to get him. You have to watch it. It's a classic. It's a really really good movie, but it's got really good war acting in it too. Yes, she says I saw that one as well. Blue Apollo says, "Who's your favorite old school action star?" My dad grew up with, dude, Arnold. I grew up in peak Arnold. You know, the Terminator came out when I was like in like the 4th or 5th grade. No, I guess that was 5th grade, maybe 5th grade. The Terminator came out, and then and Harrison Ford as well. At that point, at that time, Harrison Ford and Arnold, they ruled the fucking, the market. It was like Terminator would come out, then it was like Indiana Jones, and it was, and then it was like Commando, and then like Air Force One or whatever, It's Harrison Ford. They would like be like Predator, and it would be like what is other Harrison Ford? The Fugitive, like they would come out like back to back to back to back. It's like there was always a good action movie out for a while, and then Arnold made, I think Raw Deal was like Arnold's last action movie, and then he started doing comedies, or he did like that one with Jamie Lee Curtis, and then he did Twins with Danny DeVito, and he kind of got out of the action thing, but Arnold ruled the fucking 80s of action movies. Conan the Barbarian. Oh yes, Blue Apollo. I went to the movies. My mom used to work in the mall, right? And we were poor, so she couldn't afford a babysitter to leave me at home. So she'd take me to work with her, and she'd give me some money, and I'd walk across the road. There was a movie theater. So I'd buy a movie ticket, and then I would go in and I'd watch, I'd sit and watch the Terminator. Sometimes I'd sit there, I'd watch the Terminator, and I'd sit there. And then they'd start playing it again. I'd just stay there and watch it again. I watched Raiders and Lost Ark like 50 fucking times. Blue Apollo's last action hero is cool. Yeah. Julia says you like Charles Bronson. Yeah, Charles Bronson had his moment. He was in a bunch of good westerns. He's in that western with I can't remember the name of it, with Lee Van Cleef, where those guys tried to kill him, and that he had a harmonica, and every time Charles Bronson showed up, he would have a harmonica, like, and then he'd kill a bunch of people. Blue Paw says, I've heard of Bronson, but I've never seen his films. Really? You never seen Death Wish? Or there's a movie called The Mechanic. You know The Mechanic? That they remade it with Jason Statham. It was not very good. But that was a remake of a Charles Bronson movie that had Charles Bronson and Jan Michael Vincent. It was called The Mechanic, where he was a hitman, and then he took on Jan Michael Vincent as like an apprentice hitman, and he trained him how to be a hitman. And then of course, they're always gonna they're always gonna try to kill each other eventually. There was another Steve McQueen was a big action dude, but I was never into Steve McQueen. Never got into him too much. And then Clint Eastwood, of course. Clint Eastwood has good, the Dirty Harry movies, and they said all the westerns like Outlaw Josie Wales and all the Italian westerns with where he wore the poncho. Those are all fucking pretty good. Fistful of Dollars, a few dollars more. Unforgiven, one of my favorite movies. Blue Apollo says, my grandpa loves westerns. He would watch them all day on satellite. But yeah, I never heard of The Mechanic. No, yeah, it's a good old movie. Don't watch a new one. It's there. It's like when they tried to remake The Thing. It's just like horror movies. I said John Carpenter ruled the horror movies. Wes Craven made Nightmare on Elm Street and stuff. There were a few good ones, but John Carpenter, every horror movie he made, every movie he made was great. There's The Fog, the fucking Halloween, of course, The Thing, like fucking unbelievable. John Dryden says, my brother-in-law said Full Metal Jacket was okay for realism. Yeah. No, that's a great movie, too. You know, the same thing. The Kubrick never made a bad movie. Although 2001, I feel that everyone talks about how great 2001 is, but I feel it's kind of boring. I mean, it is a good story and all that. And the point of it is good, but it's very slow and boring. If you ask me. Like Clockwork Orange and Doctor Strangelove and all the other movies, The Shining. Yes, you're right, Blue Apollo. Most movies suck now. He says, I'm a big fan of cinema. It sucks. Most movies are garbage now. Yes. Comedy sucks. Romance sucks. There's no cool war movies or anything. Yeah, I know. It's all about flash. There's no substance anymore. You know. I am looking forward to The Mandalorian, though. I gotta admit. The Mandalorian was a good show. I think it's just because we grew up with Star Wars, you know what I mean? I was just talking about that with Laura the other day. Blue Apollo said, I watched the thing. It's the scariest movie I've ever seen. Yes, the one with Kurt Russell. It's great. They tried to remake it. It was terrible. It's like, you got to watch the original one. You ever see They Live? Blue Apollo? With the sunglasses? He's like, put on the glasses. I love movies. I could talk about movies all day. Seen thousands of them. Anyway, I got to get out of here. I've been here for an hour. Listen, if you the Mavericks just fired Jason Kidd as the coach. Anyway, if you Julia says I'm a huge Kubrick. Yes, of course. Of course. Doctor Strangelove is fucking amazing. It's like, especially now. It's like, that's why I was saying it's uncanny. These movies being there is like predicting Trump. It's not a Kubrick, but it comes from that time period. And I said the idea that people would be so stupid that they would just listen to this guy who just watches TV all the time, like that's Donald Trump. It's like, it's uncanny how accurate these people were. But anyway. I gotta get out of here. Blue Apollo, it's not really a horror, it's like a sci-fi. It's like there's aliens that are running the world, but they have this machine that keeps it all blocked, right? So the world looks normal, but then if you put on these sunglasses and you see through the veil, and like all of the billboards say like consume, obey, and all this other shit. It's called History on Fire, Blue Apollo. It's Daniele Bolelli, my friend who comes on Saturdays. Yes, it's called History on Fire. Just Google that. It'll come up. Anyway, if you just found this show today, you just stumbled upon me. I'm here every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, United States. You want to send me a private message, it's Bruce Leonard Leans Left at Outlook.com. Once again, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, United States. I'm going to go and watch the polls and pray for Thomas Massey, but I have a feeling I didn't have much faith in Kentucky. The only thing that we can hope is that Louisville will save his ass. He does have the one big city. And but they said Democrats can't vote in the Republican primary, so they can't help them. So I don't know. We just got to hope that it's probably not looking good. Anyway, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, United States. Please go out tonight, enjoy yourself, or go watch the game. The Eastern Conference NBA Finals starts tonight. I got the Knicks. And I love you guys. Thank you for watching. Like I said, I'll be back on Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you very much. Good night. I guarantee I'd be the first to be standing there, bathed in that light. Until that day, I'll keep my eyes shut tight. I do not want to pick a fight. I feel more